Hi everybody, welcome on in. Crystal here, also known as Skuldsbane all over the internet. We're doing something a little bit different today because I did ask some friends, I asked all of you, and a couple of friends answered a while ago, quite a while ago, sorry y'all. And it was kind of agreed that just whatever I want to post would be kind of awesome. So I'm making candy today. You can see I've already got some. These are sugar-free hard candies. It's just isomalt. It's 4 parts isomalt to 1 part water, or isomalt crystals to 1 part water. Bring it up to 300 degrees with a candy thermometer. Separate it out. Add some flavoring. I was using peppermint. So add your flavoring, add some food colors, and pour them into the molds. I'm just waiting for them to finish setting. They should be actually about done. But I also made earlier today some eggnog. So I had some egg whites left over, and I thought, you know what? Divinity is my favorite candy ever, and it uses egg whites. And I've got 2 egg whites that I have no idea what to do with, so I'm going to make some Divinity. So that's what we are doing today. My goodness, my cutting board is a mess. I apologize. Anyway, so that's what we are doing today. And I'm going to be using a recipe from a Betty Crocker cookbook. Or I'm sorry, not Betty Crocker, Better Homes and Gardens. This is obviously the limited edition 2000. But it is the same Divinity recipe that I've been using since forever. I mean, you can tell my pots get a lot of use. I'm constantly doing something. So what you're going to need to make Divinity is 2.5 cups of sugar. I use the, it's not brown sugar, but it's not the bleached sugar either. It's just the natural color. 1/2 cup of light colored corn syrup. This is just Caro brand because it was on sale. 2 egg whites, which I have in this ginormous 8-cup measuring cup because it will get filled up by the end of this. Trust me, you would not believe how much this just kind of explodes everywhere. Some vanilla. I promise this is vanilla. I get the Costco bottles and then I separate it out into smaller ones so that it's easier to handle. And a couple drops of food coloring. Normally you're also supposed to put in 1/2 cup of nuts or candied fruit or something as well. I just don't. Personal preference. So what you do is you put in, oh, and I'm sorry, also 1/2 cup of water. So you dump in your sugar, in the corn syrup, get my handy dandy. This thing, I picked this up off of Amazon. You can judge me for it all you want, but Amazon is handy. I picked this up off of Amazon. It is a spatula, a candy thermometer, and a meat thermometer all in one. So you've got your spatula, and that inner part is your thermometer. You can pull it out, and it's a meat thermometer. It's got this nice handy little digital readout. Let me get my 1/2 cup of water. I do not trust the tap water here because I can literally smell the chemicals that they put in it. You have a cup of water. All right, then you turn on about a medium heat, mix it up. Once it's all mixed up, you just kind of leave it alone, actually. I just washed the pot out. So that's just water hissing on the burner. There we go. Now go ahead and turn that thermometer on, and then we wait. And then you just wait, sit there, don't touch it because it will crystallize. The sugar will crystallize. The more you mess with it, the worse it gets. So the best thing to do is just kind of leave it, and once the temperature reads, it's 260 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what's considered a hardball stage. So once that reads just 260 degrees, we will move on to the next step. I'm going to go ahead and pause here until it gets up to temperature, because why would you want to sit and look at this for 10 minutes? All right, that's starting to bubble a little bit. It is supposed to do this. It is sitting at 217 degrees right now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get out my waxed paper, because the candy does set on wax paper. It normally takes about 2 sheets. Not giant sheets, but just about large enough to cover the cutting board while that's continuing to come up to temperature. All right, we are just about up to 260 degrees. There it is, which is 126.8 C. I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off and pull this off the heat. All right, and then we're going to move on to the egg whites. That's just 2 egg whites. I've got a measuring spoon on the floor now, and an ancient Cuisinart hand mixer that my mother-in-law gave to me because she got a new one. So all we're going to do is we're going to beat these 2 egg whites until they hit a stiff peak. We've about reached a soft peak stage. You can see how the foam from the egg whites is starting to keep its shape, but it's also still kind of folding back into itself. That's a soft peak. All right. Now that it's completely holding its shape, when you pull the mixer back, that is a hard peak stage. That's where we need it to be. And then the next bit is adding the heated sweet stuff. All the sweeties. And to add this in, you're actually going to beat it at the same time as you add it in, and you just pour it in very slowly because you're tempering the egg whites as you add it in. This is also the point where you add in your vanilla and any food coloring you might like to add. I personally like to add just a few drops of red. I'm using a teaspoon and a half, or a half tablespoon. The recipe itself actually only calls for a teaspoon, but I like just a little bit of extra in there. Just personal tastes. And then we start beating it again until it starts to lose its sheen or lose its gloss. It usually takes somewhere between 5 and 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed this up. Right. It's been about 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this off and we'll see. That's perfect how it's falling back over itself and kind of holding its shape. That is about what we want. Spoons, stay there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this and get it out of the way. From here, it's all scoop and drop. Scoop and drop. I've never been able to make them pretty shaped. But this is the next step. And then you just leave them alone so they can set. And that is basic Divinity.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you liked the candy making video today, please remember to like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you tried it and how it turned out. Special thanks to the Man-Thing and my father-in-law for replacing the RAM chips in my desktop. So now I'm back to my normal place here and I can post more regularly. Thank you all for being along for the ride, and I'll see you next time.